Hi pals. It's another watching Dawson's Creek with me video. I don't know what I was about to say, but it wasn't Dawson's Creek, but there we go. If you follow me elsewhere, you'll know that I've lost track, but I think this is week 4 or week 5 of going through all of my old toys that are in the cupboard in a loft. I'm not gonna lie, it's giving me mental illness. So is the world, so are people on Twitter, so is the algorithm. So honestly, I just needed some escapism. I just needed to see my babes Pacey, you know, I just needed to see my faves for a sec and just share with you my feelings about them. So here we are. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of me. Let me know down below. Oh, mental illness. Let me know down below who is your favourite character in the series. I mean, honestly, anyone, you can pick anybody. I would love to know if you've got some really weird, like, one-off character who's your fave. But leave that in the comments down below. Thanks. On with the video.
Hello, I feel like absolute shit. I think that was chocolate spread from earlier today. My jaw is killing me, my head is killing me, my arms hurt, my legs hurt. Everything hurts. So I'm going to start watching season 2 of Dawson's Creek because I want to die, alright? So Dawson and Joey are dating now. Disgusting. Parents immediately are like, Joey can't sleep over anymore because you be fucking. Dawson just said to Joey, like, I don't need to learn anything new about you. We know each other. There's none of that getting to know each other part. And Joey's like pissed at it. He reads her diary and she's about to get fucking angry at it. Dawson forgets Pacey's birthday. Pacey is sad, goes and celebrates on his own after Jen tells him to, and I think Jen wanted to go along for the ride, but, you know, he didn't think to invite her, so she's just sad and alone at school, I think after her granddad died the last season. Jen's starting to get friendly with the bitch in school. Oh, that was it. Jen also just talks about how she, like, dated all these adult men and stuff all the time. Like, I dated the doorman at this club and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're 15, maybe 16 right now. When did you date this doorman? And how can I call the police? Thank you very much. Like, that is the whole point. Her plotline throughout the whole show is basically how girls can be used and abused by adult men mostly, and what that does to a child, because she was a child and she, I think, lost her virginity, but was the R-worded, probably, like, is a more accurate way of stating that. I think she was 12, maybe 14, so, like, yeah, I think, even though her character is really frustrating, I find her really realistic, because a lot of girls go through this, basically, and it really does fuck you up mentally, depending on what exactly you're exposed to, what exactly happens to you, blah, 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 but yeah, I just find that her story is, like, just adds to the realism of this show in general, because I said in the last video, I find a lot of the small things that they do and make part of, like, each character makes this way more believable, even though it is, like, obviously very, like, soap opera drama-y. But, you know, these stories are very realistic. They happen very often. They're not particularly glamorized either. And I like the way that they handle this bit about Dawson reading Joey's diary without asking her, because Dawson really is peak white, middle class, cis, straight, privileged boy in, like, a small town kind of area. he really is peak representation of that character. And even though, yeah, he's not like necessarily a really awful misogynistic person, he's just very clearly ignorant and uneducated in a lot of these things. And Joey, the like high-key, low-key feminist, actually, I feel like both Joey and Jen are pretty feminist in different ways, but like both of these women teach Dawson in particular quite a lot. I feel like Pacey does a lot of learning by himself, doesn't necessarily need to be taught. He makes the mistakes and he learns, whereas Dawson needs to kind of be spoon-fed a bit more, like why what he does is shitty. I also really like those differences between the two main characters, because even though all of these characters I've mentioned are white, cis and straight, the dynamics between them are all like really important and they all do something very different in the group. Yep, that's it for now. My point was just made. Pacey just shouted at Dawson for being like so self-obsessed. Still hasn't realised it's Pacey's birthday, even though he's putting up fucking flyers for a party. And he's like, the world doesn't roll around you. Get over yourself, Dawson. And it's like, yes. Dawson is literally like the character that thinks everything revolves around him and like has never had to experience or think outside of his own experience. Very white boy TM. What happened to these plot lines? Why is this like something that came out in the 1999 early 2000s, but nowadays we get dating your teacher is fine. Trying to fuck your older sister's fiance is fine. Like mental illness. Like I know these are all ridiculously like good looking people as on Dawson's Creek, but at least their storylines were like made a bit more sense, you know? Oh, I don't remember when Andy joined. It must have been last episode that I hadn't watched today. But Andy, one of the new cast and crew, has joined in this episode, and her brother is going to join later on and will be working at Joey's sister's diner thing, I guess. Does she own that place? I can't remember. So we're getting two new characters, one who is basically insane, or at least becomes insane, you know, big mood, and the other one who's gay. And neither of these things are out for a while. Andy is not a character I like very much. I feel sorry for her in some aspects, but again, these two characters add dimensions the original four don't have. Like Andy's mental illness is very different to Jen's mental illness, and Jack is very like cool, heartthrob, popular, athletic jock who's very different from the other two guys who are both like kind of nerdy. Women don't really want to date either of them, but then he's gay, so he doesn't date women. And then they've got like some really interesting home life stuff that I don't think is often in TV shows. Like their mother is like very unwell mentally, and their father just kind of sucks. And they had a death in the family and stuff like that. So yeah, they are an interesting like little family unit. And bring some new dynamics. I think Andy at the beginning was a lot better because she's kind of strong, witty, takes the piss out of Pacey. They start dating and they're kind of cute. Pacey's really lovely, you know. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this, but I know it ends, so it's fine. I love that Joey does not back down from fights, and if anything, absolutely engages in them. If she hears someone saying something about her that she doesn't like, and that's it, bitch. Oh, love it. We love the fire. Yes. You know, when you're just in so much pain, you're just like, the only thing that will help me is alcohol. So here I am with my triple Bailey's shot with some butterscotch. This is vegan, by the way, because otherwise I'll be Anyway, about to get really fucked up on the payments and on very strong alcohol. If only they had like a diet version of Bailey's, because I really will get fucked up on that shit, bruv. Oh shit, oh shit. Pacey's starting to like Andy, but then suddenly his fucking teacher that he was shagging is back. Take a hint, bitch. Why are you back? Why are you doing this? I forgot why she comes back, but I remember her being back. I think she has a different job now. But still, why would you go back? Stupid. I took a break from watching Dawson's Creek because mental illness, innit? My life is hell. But I decided to watch it again today because I feel really bad about myself. We're on episode 5 of season 2. Dawson's just found out his parents have an open marriage, and he's like yelling at his dad, who was cheated on by his soulmate, one true love wife of 20 years, because he can't just let it go and get over it. Mate, I do not understand. And also, like, the wife slash mum, the way she's reacting in this, I can't say sorry enough. No, you fucking can't, bitch. You fucking cheated on your husband. No, you can't apologise enough. That's fucked. I just, I feel so sorry for Mike. I think that's his name, Mike. I feel so bad for him, because what the fuck, everyone sees him as that guy, and he was the one who was wronged and cheated on. What the fuck? Episode 14. Pacey's just starting to get his grades back up there, but I think his English teacher, I don't know, he seems to teach a few different subjects, is still being Seaon, just for no reason. You know, we love old white men on a power trip. And Pacey either loses half his grade for bad writing, which, what the fuck, or loses points for handing in late to redo his handwriting of this fucking poem. And then because Jack, Pacey's girlfriend's brother, who's also kind of in the friend group, said like he agreed that this teacher is getting worse and he's more of a dickhead, he's like, read your fucking poem out then, says the teacher, and basically makes Jack out himself to the whole class because the poems were just meant for the teacher, and he basically has a panic attack, starts crying and runs out of the classroom. Pacey goes to go like check on him and make sure he's okay. The teacher's like, no, fucking sit down. You are not fucking going no fucking where. So then Pacey sits back down. Honestly, I don't know why Pacey sat back down. I would have just fucking gone, mate. And I think this is the episode Pacey gets his teacher fired. Good on you, Pacey, because he is just an unnecessary dickhead, like, all the time, to all the students, but like especially to Pacey. And Pacey's girlfriend Andy has been popping her mum's Xanax anti-anxiety meds for the lols, but won't admit she has a fucking problem because she's taking meds that are not for her, and she's kind of just going a little bit cuckoo. So we love that. Like, I find Andy really annoying. That's just right there. I find her really annoying. I'm not a huge fan of her generally. Like, I don't hate her. I just find her irritating. And I do feel sorry for her later on. That's it. That's all I have to say. It's Dawson's birthday. And Andy's been prescribed to be imperfect for an evening. So they went to a bar, managed to get some drinks. They got drunk whilst Pacey's just like there, and they're getting up singing about their blues. And honestly, I always really appreciate some rhyming suffering. And even though they're you know, it's low-key believable, the rhymes they did, and very accurate. So I just really enjoy them. I just wanted to check in. We're on episode 16. So here we are. I'm after my shower and going to the post office. It's time for like a break to chill out, drink some more water before I have my injection later. We're starting episode 19. The bitch Abby died in the last episode. She fell off the dock and drowned because she was drunk. But Dawson and Joey got together again. And they were heading back to Dawson's room, and they just find Jen soaking wet and crying on the bed, and we're in the room at the moment. I think that's really funny. Sorry. So it's the funeral, Abby's funeral, and Joey's gone in the end, and now they're going to visit Joey's mum's grave. So I know it's always been a big thing of like, Joey was named after one of these characters in this book. Was it Little Women? I don't remember. But her mum's gravestone says Lillian Josephine. You know, it doesn't quite add up, but I'll ignore it, I guess. They handle parental homophobia really well. And all of Jack's responses are really, like, peak perfection, honestly. Like, you know, the really typical things of, if I was around more as your father, you wouldn't be gay. No, it doesn't matter. The reason I'm gay is the same as the reason why my older brother wasn't gay. It's just that's how it turned out. And, you know, the dad says, like, there are people who change, and Jack replies with, well, I would wager that change is, you should be skeptical about that. I don't think they really did change. Dad says, I don't know why you would choose to live like this. He's like, I didn't choose anything. I just chose to be happy and to be myself. And they're all just such small, like, statements. And, like, even as well, Jack says, like, you know, I'm not the, I can't remember the exact wording, but, like, he's not the epitome of the gay experience. You know, he's not the be-all and end-all of the gay experience, or, like, the spokesperson for being gay, but this is how he feels. So, like, even just acknowledging that his experience is its own experience. Not everybody experiences the same things as he has and will. Like, whoever fucking, like, honestly, whoever wrote this show just did such a good job of these issues that are just handled so badly in 2020, 2021, you know, like, now. Like, I just think, what happened to television? Because, like, during this period, there were so many shows that were, you know, I don't like the way they say this, but championing marginalized identities, whether it's like the actual actors are also marginalized or whether it's just the characters, but like leading characters were gay and leading actors and characters were, I think particularly during this time period, it was a lot of black actors, black actresses, including people of darker skin tone, you know. And I feel like we have grown in other ways, but I don't know, I just feel like a lot of our TV is just lacking when somehow we were doing it relatively well in the 2000s. What the fuck happened? Why am I crying? I know why I'm crying, but why am I crying? Episode 22, Jen has decided to go back to her grandmother to, like, reconcile, because Jen's parents are a fucking piece of shit motherfuckers, even though her gran is kind of like a little bit religiously crazy and a bit judgmental. But, like, you know, the granddad died at the very, like, beginning of this show, basically. It's like Rams doesn't have anyone, she barely sees or speaks to her kid. Jen's parents are just not around, they don't want her back. she hasn't got anybody, and just the fact that, you know, the third thing Jen says to her gran, to be like, look, these are the 3 things I need to be able to come back and, you know, live with you and have a better relationship and stuff this time. And, you know, part 3 is just the fact that they need to let Jack live with them too, because his sister's gone off to the crazy house and his dad does not live nearby. His mum's also in the crazy house and his older brother's dead. And everyone else is, you know, they've all moved out and are selling the house in the creek, whatever the fuck it's called. And like when it just pans over to Jack on the swing. And like I know how this goes, and it is such like a lovely little trio of people, and like a lovely little self-made family in a lot of ways, an unconventional family. It's just nice to see. So I'm just crying. All right, I'm just crying. Oh damn, Pacey his dad as well. I like his dad's starting to kind of get him a little bit. And now Joey's about to fucking give up her dad to the fucking police because he's dealing drugs again. He got out of prison, pretended he was gonna reform, and then just kept dealing drugs, you know, like fuck. But at least Pacey's dad gets him a little bit. They've had such a shitty time.
Ever since I moved back in here with you, I have been haunted by the knowledge that I have failed you.
Then why don't you tell me about this?
Night after night after night, wondering what compelled me to take that road both times. And I just don't have an answer for it.
But I trusted you. And you lied. And you ruined everything that Bessie and I have worked so hard for. I mean, we could have died in that fire and it would have been your fault.
I know, and I hate myself for it so much that I wish I had died in that fire. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. All I know is that I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I took care of it for you. I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
Bodie and Bessie's kid is really cute though. You barely get to see him. Or Bodie, generally. I don't think he's been in this entire fucking season.
How are you feeling?
Like hell.
Is there anything I can do?
No, thank you.
You did the right thing, Joey.
No, Dawson. You did the right thing. But I did what I just didn't come close to.
We both did what we had to do.
What I have to say, you're not gonna like, so I'll say it quickly. I hope one day that I will be able to forgive my father for all this. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive myself. But I know that I will never forgive you. See, Dawson, there are certain circumstances that love cannot overcome. And from now on, I don't want to know you.
I hope you enjoyed that, guys. So will I make another one of these? Probably, because it's just like a nice thing that I can do sometimes, instead of like really getting into editing or really super analytical about books and trying to read books, because I have a lot of books to read at the moment and I'm a bit too busy reading certain books to make other content about books. So it is what it is. Here's your second reminder to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Maybe consider supporting me on Ko-fi or Ko-fi, I don't know how you say it, because I have never heard anybody say it out loud. But there we are, that's what we're doing today. I barely know where I am. I didn't even realise it was a bank holiday this weekend, so here we are. Here we are. I don't know what my next video is going to be, so this is going to be a surprise for all of us. Anyway, thanks. See you next week. Bye.